Welcome to the Tactical Dent Tech Podcast. You are now part of a small underground movement of dent technicians from all over the world. We are on a mission to change our industry with innovation, intelligence, and skill. But because we don't rely on an insurance company to steer customers our way, we need to do things different. We need to do things smarter. We do that through a network of technicians that we call the Tactical Tech Movement. Now let's get this revolution started. Hey, what's happening, my tactical soldiers out there? Hope y'all are killing it and taking no prisoners. So get out there and do your thing. I hope you're out there doing your thing anyway. So anyhow, guys, some interesting things are happening this week. One of the cool things that's happening with me is that I'm actually working on developing a vlog. So... And you know, the hard part about that is, I don't know if you guys know the vlogging world, like literally it requires you to do one like every day. You got to be that consistent. And I don't know if I can rise to that occasion. So I'm going to jump in there. I'm going to try it. If anything, I'm going to try to get 3 to 5 of them a week. So that's a big goal of mine right now. So I'm kind of immersed in that. I mean, that's my evil scheme to take over all platforms. I want to take over YouTube, you know what I mean? Anything in my business genre, I want to roll with it, man. I'm here to take over the world with you guys. You guys, every day you wake up, I know you're feeling the same way. You're waking up and you're ready to take over the world. You're ready to dominate your market. You're ready to get out there and kill it. That's why you're listening to this podcast. So, going into that, you guys are going to see a little bit of that in the future. If you guys want to check it out, you can either head over to my YouTube channel, John Hiley. Really no videos on there right now, except for ones that I accidentally uploaded. All my videos are on the Dent Magic John channel, but this one I'm going to put on the John Hiley channel. And or you can, if you're my Facebook friend, you can do that. Or if you would like, you can head over to Facebook and follow me. I'm going to be adding all these publicly. So a lot of the stuff I put out there on Facebook under John Hiley, it's all public, and you can head on over there, hit the follow button, and we will roll. I promise to entertain you. So actually, I recently bought a 6-foot tall Sasquatch. Yeah, if you guys want to check that out, head on over and check out my vlog. It'll probably be the next couple of days when it comes out, gets released on that episode. So anyhow, today, the reason why I brought you here, the reason why I am dropping this podcast is something I've been thinking about. I recently had a student of mine come in, and a good friend of mine now, Steve, he came in, he didn't have any previous training, but he was doing really well on his own. He's a body shop guy. He'd been practicing. He owns a shop. Dude is like a dedicated, he's like a freaking bodybuilder, and he's like one of the most motivated people that I've ever met in my life. It was really cool to spend a week with this guy. And his big issue when he got to me was pressure, right? Was finding the pressure in his tool, you know? And what I mean by that is, guys, when you're working dents, okay? Look, I'm gonna give you a backstory, a little bit of a backstory. So when I first started doing this, I used to jack dents up. I mean, that's what I thought was fixing them. I was like heavy-handed. I used to put all these poke marks everywhere, you know, my dents would essentially look like a bunch of poke marks. Thankfully, I was working on car dealership lots, and they actually accept that as a quality repair. Hence why I'm not working on car dealership lots anymore, because I kind of used them to practice. And I really think that's what a lot of guys do. You know, when they first get into the business, they go to the car dealers. They get paid really low, like a lot less money, and you're a lot of times you're either poking dents up or you're spending way too long, right? So, and that's why I see a lot of my students. And Steve was the opposite, okay? So when he came to me, he was really, really cautious. I mean, like every push was like so light that like he would sit there and push on a dent for like 5 minutes and there'd be little to no metal movement. So I had to work on that a lot. Had to work on scaling his pressure up. And in all honesty, that's better than like what I was. Like when it's a lot harder to teach somebody who has a heavy hand to lighten up than to teach somebody who has a light hand to gauge their pressure a lot higher. And one of the things that I do and that I talk to my students about is that like the 1 through 10 rule is what I call this, okay? So there's a pressure level of 1 through 10 when you're working metal. You always start with 1. Regardless, when you get in there, you start feeling that dent out. You start making a couple pushes, 1, okay, the dent's not moving. Okay, the dent's not moving. All right? And you start scaling up until you find that pressure level that actually moves the damage without poking the paint. That's what you got to work on. That's what you got to work relentlessly day to day to achieve. And to become a quick technician, to become faster at what you do, you got to be able to scale to that pressure really quick. So what I do is when I get in there, I'm like 1-1, okay, 2-2, no, 3-3, 4-4, 5, okay, 5 moves it, okay, 5 pressure level moves it. I got to hit it at level 5. But the big problem is a lot of people, they stay at 1, okay? All right, so they're just like 1 pressure level, like what Steve was doing when he first came here. He was at pressure level 1 and just pushing on it over and over and not slowly scaling up. Or the other issue is people start at pressure level 1 and then they jump to 10. Okay? You got to find that finesse in your hand, all right? You got to find that level while you're pushing on every panel. Everyone's different. Every panel is different. Actually, I'll tell you a little story. I had my one student, Nico. You guys might remember him. He's the kid that I trained when he was 16 years old. And one day I'm over his shoulder and we're working a dent on a door. He says to me, he goes, "So, hey, man," he's like, "how many pounds of pressure, John, should I be putting on this dent?" And I told him, just immediately, I said, "Oh, 117. He looks back at me and says, "Well, how do I know I'm at 117? I was like, "I don't know, man." I was like, "What do you want me to do? Hook a scale up to your arm?" And that got me thinking. I sat Nico down. I'm like, "Dude, you got to find it by like pushing and gently like going up, okay? The faster you can find your pressure that moves the metal in that exact spot on that exact panel, the quicker you get to that, the faster of a technician you become." So I want you guys to think about that. I want you guys to think about finding your pressures, okay? And I'm here to tell you it changes. Dents are reactive. It doesn't matter. It changes not only on every car, on every panel, but it changes on every push, okay? So you could be above a body line, and your pressure would be way different than right on the body line. You could be working a long crease down the middle of a panel, and your pressure would be different towards the bottom of the panel on that crease as it is towards the middle and towards the top. Because maybe the bottom of that crease is close to a brace that's glued down. So it's holding a different type of pressure tension on that metal. So it's adaptive. You have to adapt to that dent all of the time. And that's why I believe some people talk about it being an art versus a mechanical type thing. Yeah, no way, it's an art. I'm telling you, it is an art form. And the people that talk about that, I highly respect, but they don't understand where they came from. Like we get to a point, it's called like, what is that? You forget what it took. Like once you get to a certain level or knowledge on some subject, you forget what it was like not to know it. You know what I mean? It's like it comes natural to you now. So you don't understand why it doesn't come natural to other people because you forgot what it took for you to become a natural at it. And I used to struggle with that until I became until I trained people. And then I realized, I'm like, man, that ain't helping nobody out if I'm looking at people like wondering why they can't figure this out because they're not a natural at it or whatever, right? So I had to like dig deep and I had to go back down into where I was when I started. And I had to vividly remember the problems that I had, the things that tripped me up, the issues that I had. And it was then when I realized how to teach people. So my job is to take people where I was at some point and take them to where I am now. And in fact, I would go to say a good coach or a trainer or whatever would push them higher, right? So my goal is for my students to become better than me. And when that happens, that means that I've achieved something real. That means that I've achieved something, really awesome in somebody else's life. And to me, that's the greatest reward. So anyhow, y'all, that's it. I just want to close off by saying, look, find that pressure. Realize that it's adaptive, okay? If you can't get the pressure in one certain spot, you might need better leverage, okay? It changes throughout the entire repair. Learn how to get to that pressure quick on every vehicle. The faster that you can find from your very first push to the pressure that moves the metal and causes it to stick and stay where you want it to be, the faster of a technician you become, the more money you make, the more time you save, and that's what it's about. So anyhow, guys, I appreciate you for coming along on this podcast, and as usual, I'm going to see you on that next one. Oh yeah, look out for my vlog, guys. It's coming. My vlog, video blog. We'll see ya.